Nobody's to say for the beer for the podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Come on, let's go.
And he scores! Leon Draisaitl.
It's the AM Nasty Big Hello.
And there it is! Seth Hyman.
Static EAM Radio. It's the Coolbet Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go.
The Oilers pouring it on. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Smith from behind the net, a wraparound. Horton scores! Edmonton wins!
Everybody tuning in, even my wife. And those Macronella intros are cutting like a knife.
That is an absolutely pitifully bad call.
Hey, it's Mitch texting in. He's your dealer for life.
It is Marchand scores!
It's like a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
McDavid, beautiful move. In on it. What can you say?
Let's see the Curry score!
Here they come, the Oilers. It's dropped back for Bookberger. Shoots, scores! Bookberger! The Oilers win it!
The Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
Where's it? Where's? What? we were gonna do an awkward pause. I think that was awkward enough.
I think it's gonna be very awkward.
It's gonna be very awkward. Yes. Welcome everybody to EST Mornings with. It's not Dusty and Eric, obviously. It's Jay and myself, Joaquin Gage. Jay, good morning.
Gager, good morning to you too. When we got here, I was just saying, I think this is going to be fun. I appreciate that you wore your jersey. We didn't talk about it, but man, we're colorful.
Yeah,
I think we were just mentally trying to distract all the YouTube watchers from actually what's happening here with our outfits. Now, if you feel that's working, feel free to smash the thumbs up button.
Yeah, let's see if we can get to 15 by hour 2. That'd be great.
Well, that would be funny, while the bosses are away, for us scrubs to come in here and set the house on fire on YouTube would be exceptional.
That would be real nice to see. But no, I was shocked this morning when we were kind of scrambling to get everything done. Is we've never been on the air together.
We've never been on air together. So, this is a unification like none other. Activate. But we've got Trev here.
Yeah,
Trev's going to hold the house down, hold the court. He's the man. This could have been the show where we did it all from the wide view.
Yeah,
just say, screw it.
Good.
We're going live. Screw it. We'll read it live.
That's great.
We're just talking about our friend Bill O'Reilly before the show.
Yeah, it was the old Inside Edition clip. Famous.
World famous.
What a good guy.
Gager, we all joking aside, we do have a show to do today, and we're gonna do our damn best, okay? And I think in the spirit of EST and the spirit of the morning show, I'm gonna go ahead, Trev, and I'm gonna offer up a conch for my dear friend Joaquin Gage.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Now I'm also gonna follow that up with a birthday boy. One of the Nasty Chat's finest, Box Pounder, is celebrating his 49th birthday. He says, "Conch my 49th birthday, you cowards. Have a great show, guys. Cheers, Box Pounder. Box Pounder, this one's for you."
great. I was creeping you a little bit on the social media sites and just to see what you were up to. Maybe something happened over the weekend, and I noticed your lawn.
Yes.
Is quite immaculate, and it was quite busy weekend for you. Got some sun, I see. Out in
Got some sun. It was a beautiful weekend. The lawn, it'd been so hot recently that I kind of forgot about the lawn because it hasn't really grown all that much. But that being said, when I cut it, the lines were fresh. The lines were minty. It was great. I actually named the picture I took Reed's Wilkin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought that had a nice segue with the French pole vaulter, which we'll get into eventually. Here's how this show's going to run, and we'll try. We're going through the announcements right now. We're going to have that hurts coming up, and that hurts. Well, we're going to find that out. That hurts. We're going to get the good, bad, and the ugly from the weekend. We're going to have Justin Dunk on, host of 3 Down Nation. He also does the Saskatchewan Roughriders pre, half, and post-game show out in Saskatchewan. Gager's going to hit us up with a cool bet line of the day. Keegan Matheson from the Blue Jays going to talk a little Blue Jays. What's gone on there? How did they fare out in trade deadline? Keegan Matheson is the guy that's going to let us know how that all went. 7:45, we're going to get to confessions, and I have a deep cut. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. 8:05, we're going to have trivia, then 3 questions. Josh Lewenberg is going to come on and set up Team Canada men's basketball taking on France in the quarterfinals today at 10 a.m. So if that interests you, you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And then we'll get to the text of the day presented by A&W, and then the wrap. And let's not forget, we'd be remiss if we forgot that this show wouldn't be here if it weren't for South Fort Chev. The Nielson show is presented by South Fort Chevrolet. For the best deal at the best price, go see Daniel and his team in Fort Sask and tell them that EST sent you. You'll also get 15% off your accessories on your new ride. You got to deal for Silverado 1500s and heavy duties. Visit their website at www.southfortchev.com. And if you noticed that Gager and I are hitting up the sponsors a lot today, well, it's just because we're trying to fill time.
The mark of a true professional of anything is always they make something look very easy. And Dusty and Eric, you don't realize how talented they become. Just second hat almost. You don't appreciate them too much until you have to try to host a show. I remember I was thrown into the hosting duties for it was an Oilers Plus thing. We were tasting wines, so I mean I'd had some experience in it, but I had to do like a little kind of interview with a sommelier at one point. But then we had a woman she's like the heiress to a winery in southern Italy, and I had to kind of interview her, and she was broken English too, right? So you're trying not to have the questions too complex, but I mean her English was better than mine at the end of the day. But it's tough, man. It's very difficult. So, but I mean, you stepping into a regular show, how excited are you for the fall with Reed?
Pumped.
I've
pumped.
I can't wait to watch this. I love Reed.
Yeah, Reed and I have been hanging out a lot more lately, as you can imagine. So him and I are working out how that show is gonna be laid out. Obviously, much like this is the Nielson show, that is the Reed Wilkins show.
Yeah.
So I will be hanging out with him, so to speak. But no, I'm excited. It's going to be great. I think, I think a lot of what Reed brought to the table or brings to the table, at his former job at 630 Ched was his honesty.
Yeah.
His passion for local amateur sports, and his knowledge. So you're going to get all that, and then you're going to get a mix of dumbass over here coming in from time to time. I will chime in. I will be a part of that show, but it's very exciting. So thank you for mentioning that. And Gager, it was a long weekend.
Yeah,
it was a long weekend.
Yep.
And in the truest form. How was your weekend?
It was good. It was my wife was actually she as you know, I have a daughter in competitive dance, which isn't cheap. So
Nope.
my wife and a friend of hers actually thought, hey, we could go down and make a few extra bucks and bartend at the Big Valley Jamboree. So my wife was down there with a friend bartending. Which
No way.
But I mean, this could go into that within our next segment a little bit, but a little peek behind the curtain was this is ladies of a certain vintage working for tips almost, but no one carries cash anymore. So the first day was me trying to set up like PayPal, like QR codes and things like that. Then she got there and it was, oh, it's pooled. It doesn't do that way. And then there was a lot of people, I guess, were working for tips in other ways that, you know, my wife and the other dance mom was following the strict rules of things, but there were free beers given out and more tips on the other. So they learned how to play the field a little bit more as they saw what was going on. And then at the end of it, kind of wasn't a great weekend for the weather. Just with Keith Urban not being able to play. I'm sure that's the draw at the end of it, isn't it? With him coming, like, I'm not a huge country music fan, but I know people that go, and that's kind of the reason they go is for that last night.
Yeah, he was, and Trev, I have a couple people that are saying Gage sounds very quiet. Milne's levels are fine, so we can maybe boost him up a bit. How's that?
Am I boosted?
Am I boosted?
Let me know.
Thanks for all the input, fellas and ladies. That is why you go to, you know, so there was 3 headliners. There was Lainey Wilson, there was Cody Johnson, and there was Keith Urban, all which I think are phenomenal acts. Keith Urban, his set got cut.
Yeah, the
whole thing. I don't even think it was cut short. I think it was just cut.
Yeah.
Because of the, you know, the memory of what happened in the past at Big Valley Jamboree, which was terrible, tragic. So I think they were very, very cautious about that. But I did notice, and you know when you get random, hey, this person started a live video on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
So I kept getting these notifications that Keith Urban did a live video. And so I'm like, what the? So then I found out that Big Valley Jamboree was essentially canceled for the rest of the night. So here's Keith Urban and his, I think it was their change room or their green room that was doing a live concert. So that was kind of neat. He tried making the best of it. I wonder how that all shakes out.
Oh, I'm sure he gets paid.
In fact, I don't care.
Yeah, no.
I want to hear more about the bartending.
Oh,
I mean, like that just blew my socks off.
This is my wife's no stranger to the service industry. She served in restaurants and so does her friend. So it was I think for the organizers, it was nice to have somewhat reliability with the servers,
right?
You know, with a little bit more experience, and that type of humor, like a little bit older, where kids are scratching their heads a little bit. Because she looked. I'll say it. My wife looked really good going out there. There was
smoke show.
Yeah, there was some tightening and some revealing clothing worn. I was like, hey, remember what you got at home, right? Like, but no, it was. I think.
Were you like because Mrs. Glue, my wife, before she was my wife, went out there and it almost broke us up because it was her and some of her basketball friends. We were dating. It was fine in the end, but they went out there, and one of the girls came up because, you know, you get together before, and then you all drive out in the one car, and da-da-da-da-da. And she brought shirts for all the girls, and the girl who brought the shirts was single, so she's handing out all the shirts, and I'm like, oh, cool, what's the group shirt say? And it says, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Yeah. I said, April, you're not wearing that to the Big Valley Jamboree. Do you know what happens at the Big Valley Jamboree? No, it was all good, but I was a little bit ticked off that shirt was presented to.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, but it's all about the Benjamins at that point, right? So I go, hey,
she came home with a ton of money.
Well, yeah. Trev, you ever been to Big Valley Jamboree?
No, I have not. I don't think I ever will.
Oh, you're not a big country guy?
No.
Okay.
No. I want to go to a music festival, though. That's something definitely on the list of things I want to do. Just haven't I've been busy. I'm always very busy in the summertime. But, yeah, Chasing Summers, I guess, is one. in Calgary. That's the one that I had my eyes on, but no Big Valley.
Oh, jeez.
How was your weekend, Trev? Let's put the camera on, Trev.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well, I don't have the camera set up right now, but... Oh, wait. Yeah, I can hear 1 second here. But weekend was actually pretty awesome. I had a grand old time. I was telling Glue Guy on Friday that I was gonna party. I was getting ready to party.
He was rip snorting, ready to go. Oh yeah, he was getting dialed in.
And so
you and the fellas went. You played some cards. You did some bowling, I understand.
Yeah, and then we went to bowling, and we kind of overstayed our visits. Every 20 minutes, I'm like, come on, 20 more minutes, please. They're like, okay, I guess. But
you were the guys that wouldn't let them shut down the bowling alley.
Yeah, I felt bad. I felt terrible. I was like,
yes.
please. And it actually, man, it was so funny. But we ended up driving the scooters, which probably wasn't the best idea, but it was pretty funny.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't drive them when they're half cut? I mean, it's
yeah. And
we've seen your scooter experience before. So
my buddy, I forget what the road is, but it's like right in front of Nate. It's like the main intersection there. You got Kingsway Mall, you've got the Avenir Curling Club, and then you got Nate and that whole intersection there. And I was refreshing Twitter the whole next day, wanting a video to surface because this was so funny. My buddy, he was having a good time, and he's scootering first time he ever scootered. And he's just scootering, and we're watching him from afar, and he absolutely biffs it on the main road. And then I'm driving my scooter, and it's kind of little. We got a Jack from the Titanic. My buddy, he's holding on to me, because there's only two scooters. So we're kind of laughing, and we're laughing at Buddy because he fell. And sure enough, the next thing I know, we're on the floor laughing because we fell as well. So a lot of people were laughing at us and honking at us. It was pretty good. It was a fun night, I will say. If we're diving into That Hurts, that'll be my That Hurts the next day because I wasn't feeling that good.
So you're still young enough to get so drunk that you have a hangover like that. Gage and I will. I think we'll probably get to the buzz stage and then start hitting the waters.
Yeah, no, shut it down.
Yeah, because we know
I can't do that anymore.
Hey, how's the 2-stack pill coming along? By the way.
Oh, that's gone. That was good. I only brew at in the next month. I'll brew up a batch and for the start of the season and stuff. It was kind of weird actually yesterday. And again, another thing about my weekend. So my son went to Saskatoon, drove to Saskatoon actually to party with friends, and it was just me and my daughter, and she's kind of got a little bit of a break. And I found that when I do stuff with her, it's always I'm taking her somewhere. We're doing, So this was the kind of first weekend. It was just kind of me and her.
Oh, beautiful.
And I go because I wanted to go see Deadpool, obviously.
Yes.
And I'm like, I asked my son because he wanted to leave after work and he didn't want to go. And so I go up to my daughter's room and I go, hey, do you want to go see Deadpool with me? And she's like, yeah, sure. And so we went and watched Deadpool. Had a great time. Oh. It's fantastic, by the way.
Life is good.
And then yesterday we went to the rec room, just to or actually the day before to the rec room because we wanted to play some pool or do something like that. Pool tables were full. Went to play darts. It's ridiculously expensive there to play darts. It was like
darts. They charge you for darts.
Yeah, but it's all electric and keeps score.
Okay.
But it was like $40 for 20 minutes or something. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
What?
So we ended up just having a pizza and going home. But no, it was a good daddy-daughter weekend.
That makes my heart full because I have 3 daughters and they're not of that age yet, but I'm holding on to them very tightly because I know there will be a time where they may not want to hang out with dad so much. So. For you to have that, I mean, and hopefully they sounds like maybe they do.
Yeah, I think the father-daughter relationship's different.
Sure.
I think I mean, it's pretty funny, our relationship. Sometimes my wife's like, you guys got to stop it. You're like brother and sister because we bicker and stuff.
Yes.
No, it was good. It was a solid long weekend, except for the hard to hear about the Heritage Days, things going awry there with the storm, and they had to shut down early.
Yeah.
But hey, it's August.
Busy time in the city for sure. And I'll tell you, who did have a good weekend? Your Edmonton Elks. Bringing home the first victory of the year.
Yeah.
With a rather dare I say, dominant victory over the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I mean, obviously, we got Justin Dunk coming up shortly after 7, so we're going to get into that with him and get his take on that game, as he's very in tune with the Roughriders team and the city and what the pulse of the team is there. But I must say, I mean, that was a different team. That's the first thing we really talked about when we got here in the morning and said, how are we going to form this? And I mean, this is the first show, given that there was a holiday yesterday. This is the first show that we have a chance to talk about the Elks, and that was a different looking team. That was something that, Trey Ford came in. Trey Ford did what all the Trey Ford fan group. I know Iwanek is the only president of the Trey Ford fan club in Edmonton. He's the only one. But what did you feel about that game? We never really talked about what your thoughts were on, how Trey Ford came in. He definitely answered the bell. But what did you think about the Elks' first win of the season?
This is what I kind of want to talk to Justin about. But I'm just drawing on previous experience a little bit. You get to a point where a team is the bottom feeder and playing against them, and it kind of shifts the way the pressure goes to the team that's supposed to win now. Like, you can't be beat by the 0-7 team, right? So now it's like, oh, they got nothing to lose. Oh, we're playing how do we play? They haven't been a good team all year. How much did that take into account to that win? And when my CFL eye watching a game isn't as in depth as probably you or Dusty or Eric, but it seemed like they had a really good handle on that game. And Trey Ford, I forget the stat that was thrown out there, but I think that gorgeous pass for that touchdown was like the 6th longest passing TD by a Canadian quarterback. So that was amazing. And I thought it got a little bit close at the end there, but they shut it down. And past games they found a way to lose. This was kind of maybe a light switch going on.
Well, that's a great point, because they certainly have. For a guy that, I do the Green and Gold kickoff show with Maddie and have watched every game.
Yeah.
This was by far a different team. This was a different defense. Now, can you still say that's the Trey Ford effect? I think you can, because we saw it at the end of that Hamilton game where Trey Ford came in and sparked. Not only did the offense take off, I mean, they scored 20 points in 9 minutes, but the defense looked different. And sure, you could say it was the scrub team and all that, but they played with a different intensity, a different edge, and that carried over to that game Saturday against the Roughriders, where you're seeing a team that, Gager, this team has been crippled by critical errors at critical times. That has been the kryptonite for Edmonton this season. That defense made critical plays at critical times.
For the first time in a while.
For the first time. In the fourth quarter, they had some big plays. They had a sack that took them out of field goal range. They had, I think late in the game, they had 2 interceptions. Snuffing out that Saskatchewan Roughriders potential comeback, which in weeks prior you may have seen happen. But no, I thought it was a complete win. It's just something that Elks fans haven't seen this year. So for that, I am very happy. Now the question is moving forward.
Yeah, and I liked what I saw. I mean, I was always good in the room, right? And after after the victory, coach comes in, has some things to say. It wasn't the nice thing I thought about. Like, obviously they're jazzed about getting their first win, right? But there was a calm about it too. Like, it's just the start of something. It was almost like
they'd been there before, even though they hadn't. There was a quiet confidence in that locker room.
So that's encouraging to see. But as you said, that was a full effort from all. Like, football's such a different sport where offense and defense are so separated. But when it seemed like throughout these first 7 games, one was going okay, the other one was not great, and that's through players, specialty teams, offense, defense, coaching staff, with even some of the decision making, right? So good to see them all clicking and hopefully, I can get a win next. I think it's the 11th. Is the next
They
game?
play on Sunday.
Gosh, I don't
Sunday, they're hosting
Yes.
BC, who is without Vernon Adams. He's week to week. So another thing we've got to watch coming up this week is Vernon Adams healthy enough to play? If not, then we're going to see Jake Dolagala. Yes, that Jake Dolagala coming in for the BC Lions. So this could be something where, can Edmonton take advantage of a quarterbackless BC Lions, because Jake Dolagala is not the answer. So if that defense can put, you never know. It's the CFL. The real season doesn't start till Labor Day. That's what they say anyways, but we'll see how it goes. And just cautiously optimistic, I guess we could say, right?
Yeah.
So with that here, we're going to get into That Hurts. That Hurts is brought to you by SB LLP. Albertans suffer personal injuries and accidents every single day, but many of you are too overwhelmed to seek the legal advice you need. Just leave it in the hands of those who can look after you. The experts at SBLLP. Go to sb-llp.com and click on personal injury or call 780-438-5281. No need to feel shame. Let SBLLP handle the claim. Ooh, that's catchy. I like that. Gager, what hurts? Feed it to me, baby. Give it to me.
What hurts is not the soothing sounds of Dustin Nielson on the afternoon of calling a hockey game in August, but the Swiss under-17 team losing 10-0 to Canada. That was that hurts. That really hurts. Well, not a great way to start off the tournament. These tournaments always kind of interest me in a slight fashion, just because Canada is so dominant. You look at their amount of potential first rounders or first rounders actually playing on the team. It's astronomical compared to a lot of other nations. But the Swiss goalie I thought was quite good at the beginning, but he just got after a while just got broken down and stuff. But no, the young Canadian kids are really, really good. It's crazy how good some of these guys are.
Let me ask you that, because you mentioned, obviously, you played goalie at the highest level you can. You said the Swiss goalie actually was quite good, but at over
this was
time,
at the beginning of the game.
You get overwhelmed, or you just But is that something that, do you think a scout would look at that and say, okay, this goalie's actually got some good fundamentals, he could become something, or did they overlook? Or do they combine the fact that they're playing against probably one of the most highest powered offenses in the Gretzky Hlinka Cup? Or do you still look at that and say, this kid's got the stuff?
No, that's where I want to watch a goalie for sure in situations like this, because things aren't going to go well.
Sure.
And how is he going? How is his body language? When goal 7 or 5-6 goes in and it's out of reach. What's it? How does he look? How does he get back up? Is he laying on the ice to, at the beginning of this game, I guarantee you don't get to that high a level without thinking, I can, as a goalie, it's almost, if I have a game here, we can still
steal one.
We can still steal one. There's still the opportunity of a goalie to, in a 7-game series, not a chance, but there's always the one-off where they can be a huge difference maker. Didn't happen last night, but no, I liked what I saw from him in the first couple periods. He got broken down, but he made some saves that I was like, oh, interesting.
And that team, I mean, that's...
Oh, gosh, it's crazy.
The Swiss cheese reference must be brought up. If you're a goaltender for the Swiss team, that must be an old joke, but I'm going to go to the well.
And I mean, I know it's early and stuff, and we've just gotten off that nice ride with the Oilers. But if you do get a chance to go down there, it's quite exciting hockey with these young guys. Man, there's just some of the talent on. It amazes me. These guys are like 17 years old and able to do the types of things that they do. It's
just young men with their whole life in front of their eyes.
Oh, yeah.
What's that going to bring to them, huh?
crazy.
Well, Gager, I got one that hurts. This one really hurts. This one really hurt because we all saw it too, and it happened in the Olympics. French pole vaulter Anthony Amirati failed to advance due to his manhood getting caught on the bar, thus eliminating him from competition. Oddly enough, the pole vaulting attempt was foiled by his own pole.
His pole got in the way.
His pole. I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, just Google French pole vaulter. It'll be the first thing that comes up. Can you imagine, after all the training you've done, extensive late hours, gym prep, track prep, the amount of money your parents have put into this, I'm sure, through the years to get you through to this level, just to have that happen?
I don't understand why it wasn't kind of viced in a little bit more.
Compression shorts, man.
Yeah,
like get that thing under rain.
I mean, he's probably doing okay in the village right now, but other than that, it's so bad with the cameras too, because it's you can.
There's a lot of slow-mo going on, and those are 4K cameras, baby.
Yeah, that's just, and the baby blue doesn't. Maybe
it doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
It does not help.
So it's.
I bet you're just doing really good.
It's probably right.
It's tough for the commentating. They're trying to avoid it. It's like he got in the way, and it looks like yes, he did get in the way, but they can't go into specifics.
Oh man,
like, and
it was undeniable. It was 100% undeniable. That's
when you'd love to be in the truck, like with the video guys, and just check this out, guys. Check this out.
Oh man, that's sad. We feel for you, Anthony Amorati, but we don't. Yeah, I guess at that instance, it was kind of a lose-win.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for the entire world to see how big your horn is in the Olympics.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, that's pretty good. And in your hometown,
yeah,
wow, that's impressive.
You put it all out there for everyone to see. Trev, what say you?
With the whole thing?
Yeah, what's your insight on that?
I mean, I'm just I feel like it didn't matter because I'm just looking at this one guy. He ended up getting a record for 6.25 meters, which is men's pole vault record. So regardless of if he advanced, he wouldn't have beat that guy. But it still sucks. You lose the way you did. It's like, oh, how'd you do? Well, you didn't hear how I did? Well, that's a surprise. I mean, he's got to be in good spirits. If it was me, I'd be like, that's kind of funny. Honestly, at least the world knows. Now everyone knows who I am.
Yeah.
Not the way I wanted to go out, but that's the way she goes.
Well, 4 years of work for Big Jim and the Twins to
get in the way
of your podium hopes.
Oh, man.
The Twins.
Wear a jock. Something.
Even the sprinters, I'm like, geez.
Yeah,
that's
I know. I like at least they put the name bar over their junk before they're lining up to race. It's like my wife and kids are here. But
I mean, you ran as a football. I ran track a long time, but I wore a jock strap.
Yeah, that's what normally you would do to get everything nice and neat and tidy. And keep things from happening like what happened. Yeah, and that pole vaulter that broke the Olympic record, Mondo Duplantis from Sweden, that was one of the cool ones where, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but and we'll get to a sports update right away. Okay, I know we're a little bit behind on that, but forgive us. That was one where I don't know why they broke to it and allowed the viewer to watch that unfold as he was chasing that world record, and he finally got it on his final attempt. Went crazy, ran over, hugged his wife, kissed his parents.
That's what the Olympics is all about.
I agree.
Yeah.
That might be on the the end clips where they put together the montage, I believe they call it. YTT, let's get to a sports update.
Sounds good, Glue Guy. Trey Ford gets his first start of the season, and to no surprise, the Elks get their first win of the season. The Elks defeated the 5-3 Saskatchewan Roughriders by the score of 42-31. Ford threw 18 of 22 passes, good enough for 252 yards. The Elks don't play again until Sunday, August 11th, where they'll be taking on the 5-3 BC Lions right here in Edmonton. Elsewhere in Edmonton, the Stingers finished off their season with a 78-69 loss on Sunday, coming from the nemesis, Calgary. This is the second year in a row that the Calgary Surge have ended the Stingers' season. The Riverhawks swept the Port Angeles Lefties over the weekend and look to continue that in their next series against the Nanaimo Night Owls. The Riverhawks won Game 1 of this series on the road with a score of 15-4. This win clinched their spot in the 2024 West Coast League playoffs for the first time in the franchise's history. If you want to cheer them on, they play again tonight, which of course you can listen to at edmontonsportstalk.com. In the Olympics, Andre DeGrasse didn't qualify for the men's 100-meter, but he did qualify for the 200-meter semis, in which he won that event in last Summer Olympics. This event will take place tomorrow. And lastly, the Canada men's basketball squad is set to play France this morning at 10 a.m., and the winner of that will advance to the semis to either play Germany or Greece. This sports update is brought to you by Nisku Glass, where they can meet all your automotive, residential, and commercial glass needs. They offer free pickup and drop-off services for your vehicle and free estimates at your home and business, and have a 4.8 star rating on Google. They will service anywhere in Greater Edmonton area and beyond. Give them a call, 780-955-7989, to meet all your glass needs.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the back end. Like Krasinski and Noodles, Gadget and Gage. If it's just Bubba to Coolbet to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We want to hear some hot takes and we want to hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I want to kiss away? Beat up the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramel, Rapaport, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All the fucking given person, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
All right, welcome back. Just want to let everybody know that the text of the day today is still presented by A&W. Visit A&W and come chill your thirst with a new frozen A&W root beer. I had one of these. There's a new A&W out in Ardrossan, and everybody's going crazy about it. Made with natural cane sugar, natural flavors, and blended with ice. And the most refreshing part, for a limited time, when you buy any size frozen A&W root beer, you'll get a second frozen A&W root beer for free. Double the flavor, double the chill, double the joy for one delicious price. Hurry in and try one today. Offer is valid for a limited time at A&W Brew locations in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Devon and Ardrossan. Most A&W drive-thrus are open 24 hours a day. And
Do they still have the root beer milkshake, or is it the frozen drink?
well, now they have the frozen root beer. They still have the milkshakes though.
Yeah, but they a lot of places stop the root beer milkshake. You ever had a root beer
Really?
milkshake? Oh, yeah.
Why would they do that? That
don't
seems
know.
to me like
I think it was tough to keep her going.
why?
Yeah, I
Is it
don't
like
know.
the ice cream machine at McDonald's that's always broken?
The only one I knew that still did it was the one out in Stony or Spruce that had it. Because every time if I go through the drive-thru, hey, do you have a root beer milkshake? And it's always, no, we don't. But out there, they did.
Oh,
yes,
golly.
I don't know if they still do.
You know what was a good milkshake was from Arby's, the Jamocha milkshake.
Jamocha milkshake.
Oh my gosh, Now we should remind everybody that no.
This
HR
isn't
Daddy
Dusty.
didn't come in and fire his son. Eric's still away on holidays, but he will be back tomorrow and will be joining Gager. And Dusty is calling the Gretzky Hlinka Cup. He was scheduled to be here today.
It's funny.
But
His text was funny.
His text was funny. he let's just say it. He bitched out.
Yeah.
He couldn't take the heat. Couldn't do 3 games in one day, then prep for the hockey, then prep for the show. So, he gave the old boys a call. He said, fellas, can you handle this? Gager said, I was born for this.
No, I was. It was funny he goes, yeah, I think I factored in all the prep time, and it would equal about 3 hours of sleep. And the amount he's talking and stuff. But
it was a voice concern.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it was a voice concern. He's got a broadcast to do. So, obviously, hey, the fellas can pick you up. We got YTT in the chair, baby. Anything's possible.
And I don't want to pump Dusty's tires too much. Like
And this segment is brought to you by. No, just kidding.
it's I was interested yesterday to hear how the camaraderie between him and Button on the broadcast.
Yeah.
They sound good.
They do sound
They
good. Yeah.
sound really good. I don't know if this is Button's way of trying to get to the Spengler, because I know he's trying to. So
Right.
maybe he's really working hard with Dusty to maybe get to Davos, Switzerland over Christmas.
Well, and I tuned into a bit of that Canada game, and it was later in the game. But sometimes I just want to hear his voice. So I tuned in, and those are tough ones. I know, when you're calling a game that's double digits to nothing or to 1, it can be a little bit difficult, but I thought they did a great job. Now, speaking of great job, all you people flooding the Paris Jewelers inbox, that text of the day is coming up. And Paris Jewelers, let's just mention this off the hop. Family owned and operated with 22 stores in 4 provinces across Canada. They have exclusive Star Wars and Marvel wedding bands. Flexible payment options, including do not pay for 1 year. Shop in store or online. You don't even have to go to Paris Jewelers. You can go online. If your wife says she wants a princess cut or a cupcake cut, I don't know what the cuts are now. You just go to parisjewelers.com and you can find those there. I think Joel is right now in the pole position for text of the day in saying about our dearest pole vaulter, Anthony Ammirati. I guess he didn't get pole position. That's pretty good. Hey-o. HVAC Evan, the pole vaulter did this only for his OnlyFans page. Is the story. It made 150,000 subscriptions already. That would be touche. And I want to get to this here just before we move on, because we do have Justin Dunk coming up shortly after 7. The real not so Slim Shady says, I think the D plays better when Trey is at quarterback because there seems to be more extended drives from the offense. The whole team has more confidence. Couldn't have been said better. The real not so Slim Shady. That definitely has something to do with the ability for the defense to rest, given extended plays. I mean, the first 3 drives of that game went 10 plays, 12 plays, 7 plays for the Elks. That's amazing. Instead of the 2 and outs or 3 and outs that we become accustomed to see as fans.
I mean, Bethel Thompson watching, very structured quarterback, right? So as on the defensive side or even like offensive line, what is the offensive line? How do you prepare with a guy that maybe scrambles a little bit more or does extend plays? Does that make it? Does an offensive lineman like that more? Does he?
See, the thing is, when you're playing against a quarterback like Trey Ford, that's as elusive as he is, that changes everything for the defense. That changes your angles. That changes your attack points to not knowing where the quarterback's going to run. Now, I will say, I was the one that first said at the start of the year that Trey Ford did not prove himself as a pocket passer.
Okay.
He couldn't stand in the pocket and deliver the ball. Hence, that's why they went out and got a guy like Macbeth who can sit in there and throw the ball. That tapered off for Macbeth, but I'll tell you, Trey Ford stood in there a couple times and delivered, like you said, that one to Tevin Jones for a massive strike to one of the longest plays for a Canadian quarterback. That was surprising to me. Because that was the question. That was the question you could ask Justin Dunk. You could ask any of the CFL pundits. They will say, could he sit in there and deliver the ball? So, but that also, you have to understand that doesn't just happen overnight. That happens from practicing under a guy like Macbeth. Mm-hmm. It does. Sitting in there and going through reps. He's had 7 games of practice. Those practices are important. You could develop a great amount doing that and watching a guy like Macbeth who sits in the pocket and passes. So, I will say that though, like I didn't think he could do that as well as he proved to do against Saskatchewan. So that was great to see.
And that's one of the best defenses in the league, right?
Best rush defense in the league, and look what they did. Javon Leake torched them.
Yeah.
Explain that. Riddle me that, YTT. I don't know how to explain that. You have the best rush defense in the league, and you get burnt for 167 yards and 3 tutties by Javon Leake. You know what? Let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Let's
Gage.
do it.
What do you got for your good?
Well, I went, since it's still summer, and how do you not go with Summer McIntosh?
Ew.
Because 3 gold medals. And so I was just kind of looking at her, progression and how they were speaking about her even before the Olympics. Like, this wasn't supposed to be her kind of coming out party because she's a phenom, I guess, from what I understand. But it was actually more geared towards Los Angeles, where they thought she would really start to dominate. So this is a kind of, I don't want to say unexpected, but maybe a little bit, just the fact that she's crushing 3 golds. I think this is the best Olympics that Canadians have done. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's frozen or in a liquid form. Canadians dominate when there's water involved.
Yes, this is true. That was what can you say?
Yeah.
I mean, 17 years old.
17.
And it turns out her mother was in the 1984 Olympics as a breaststroker as well.
Really?
So that's why that event particularly meant a lot for her to gold medal in that. She had a couple golds in some medley races as well. But, man, think of what you were doing at 17. Like, I mean, for you, it's probably different. You were probably in the throes of, becoming a professional hockey player.
I was letting in a lot of goals is what I was doing.
Yeah, I was
honing my craft.
Yeah, you were getting dialed in, as they say.
I
eh?
wasn't getting golds at the Olympics, if that's what you mean. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love watching the parents too. Like, they're so happy.
Isn't it
they're
great?
And I can't imagine, because swimming, that is. I mean, as a kid, usually it's once a week or maybe twice. You're doing those early morning practices. Swimming, that's every day. Like, she's been in the pool from getting up at 4 a.m. and getting there before school. Still going to school, obviously, too. And then after school.
Not anymore.
School's
done.
There's probably no
Well, I
need for
guess you
that.
could go, do university or college down in the States. But, I mean, at this point, you'd be turning pro, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's got to be some.
There's got to be some European swim circuit that she could dominate.
I don't even know what.
I don't have a hot clue.
Yeah, not even.
No.
I should know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
That's my good. You?
I was gonna go with the Elks as well as Summer McIntosh. So we what can you say about that? It was interesting to see her press conference after, the dust had settled, the swimming events were over, and she said, "I'm exhausted."
Yeah.
She just wanted to sleep, I think. So, can't take the teenager out of her. She turns 18 this month. This comes in from Box Pounder. Happy birthday, brother. Summer turns 18 this month. How many Olympic Games will she compete in?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, she could at least do 3.
Because it's Ledecky, isn't that the famous?
Katie Ledecky is the Michael Jordan of swimming.
Yeah, she's ridiculous.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Like MJ. I always find a way, Gager. I always find a way.
This is a pro LeBron. No, it's not a pro
No,
LeBron.
this is it's not anti-LeBron. It's just he's not the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And that leads us into the bad.
Well, my bad is, just locally, just all those fans going to watch Keith Urban. Although I'm not I don't even know a song he sings, but seeing all those people go home unhappy and hearing how, because I guess it was a mad scramble. Because to get drinks, it's tickets down there, right? So you buy all your tickets. And so there was a mad rush to can I get like 80 beer with all these tickets? Because people were thinking it was going to go till 2 a.m. But so that's my bad.
Yeah, it sucks. Anytime you see an event like that, I mean, Heritage Festival as well, down at Borden Park, suffered the same, I guess, it's a sad way to end things, I'd imagine, with chaos like that. But ultimately, the safety of those and the people that are there, the staff, everybody comes paramount. But I did find it funny. I saw the tweet that was sent out by a big Valley Jamboree as to how to take cover or where to go. And one of them was like the event center there. I think it's like the hockey rink.
Okay.
And then the other one was the casino.
Yeah, we go, yeah. Sure, why not?
And the third one was Cook County Saloon. So I don't think it was that bad, to duck and run like that. My bad was the BC Lions because they laid an egg and they lost their starting quarterback in Vernon Adams. 25-0. They fall at the hands of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Vernon Adams looks to be short-term, week to week. We're going to get more on that from Justin Dunk in about 15 minutes. Gager, my ugly is ugly. It's ugly. It's oogly. The Seine. The sign? The Seine. The sign. The Seine River. Multiple triathletes have been ill. Now, if you don't know, been living under a rock, the Seine River, Seine River, Seine? Seine. The Seine River in Paris, France, is where the triathlon is being held. And they've done multiple, taken multiple victory laps. The mayor of Paris swam in there. The president, they're all trying to say that this is safe water for the triathletes to swim in. Well, after qualifying and after practice, several of the athletes have fallen ill with E. coli. The whole Belgium team has withdrawn from competing in it due to safety concerns. Now, you can't just say, okay, this is all definitely because of that, but, looks like a duck, walks like a duck. People are coming up with E. coli, which is due to, such things as waste in the water. It's just disgusting. I did some reading up on it. And there's some microbiologists that have said, they've come in and said that the E. coli is definitely basically poop going in the water, which, there's no two ways to cut that. But there was a lot of fresh water as well. A lot of rain. I don't know if during the broadcast you say
hurt, right?
That's what hurt.
Yeah.
You commonly think, oh, fresh water, rain, great. That must help. No, because of the archaic sewer system that they have in Paris, France. The overwhelming of those systems leads to water, literally taking what's on the street and putting it in the Seine River or the Seine.
Have you ever been to Paris?
No.
Oh, okay. It's great. I was there younger, but it's funny because dogs are allowed everywhere, right?
Okay.
And I was the one thing that shocked me is going through, the Champs-Élysées and stuff like that. It was the amount of dog poop everywhere because
golly.
So it was.
That's the worst.
Yeah, and just the amount of rain going in there. That's tough. That's ugly.
Abutsky 05, thank you. It's pronounced Seine.
Seine.
So the Seine River is disgusting. That's my ugly. Yuck.
My
Imagine
ugly.
Swimming in poop water?
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when your kids used to poop in the tub,
That was terrible.
That was awful. And I don't know if you went to,
but it happens. It happens. Like
the aquatics with your kids or whatever. I'd go to Twilliger Ricks. Every time I go there's be a Code Brown.
Yeah.
And everyone would have to come up.
And then you'd see an O. Henry sitting on the bottom of the pool.
Yeah. Bill Murray eating it.
Oh, God. Kids are so disgusting.
Yeah, it's
they
gross.
are. They're
just gross.
Just gross little creatures. And then once they find out that they can poop all on their own, then life gets better. Trev, one day you'll be there, man. And we're going to walk you through this and hold your hand on how to take
long
care
time.
of
It'll be a long time from now, but yeah, one day for sure. You guys will be there. The worst part about this is like the mayor, the prime minister, whatever it is, like she's saying, oh, it's clean, and like she took a dip in the river just to prove that everything's fine. She's like, it's great. You're gonna love it.
And like they went head in, like they went all in on that.
Yeah, so
I
just
thought
not a
that
good
was
look. If
interesting.
it's not safe, like just like you're hurting the athletes, like just stop. Like
Well, they got a whole swimming pool that's
there's no problem
sitting empty
in
right
saying,
now.
Yeah.
The swimming events are done.
Yeah, there's no problem in saying, okay, you guys are right. We were wrong. Let's move the event over here, right? Like you're harming the athletes. People are going to start, withdrawing, and that's what we're seeing right now. So not a good look. Just own up to it.
It's not good. It's ugly. It's not good at all. Okay, we got to mention the Popeyes studio sponsor here. As you can see, this studio, our studio, Gager, for today, this is our studio today, is sponsored by Popeyes. What's your favorite sauce? at Popeyes?
Oh, I think the peppercorn ranch is quite good. Hey?
And I love it too. The garlic parm
Yeah.
is up there. In fact, the signature hot is just the right level of hot. And that
I like to blow the doors off a little bit more. Like it's a nice even burn.
Do you dip it in extra hot sauce?
Sometimes, yeah.
Are you okay, let's get into this then. Are you a hot, like saucy hot guy, or do you like it more of a dry rub hot?
I like both. I like the saucy garlic hot.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one I like. And the rubs, I like the rubs other than that, but it has to be, I
like rubs
I'm not
too.
I like a nice garlicky saucy rub. It's always good. Hey?
Have you ever had a garlic sauce massage? It's good for the
I
skin.
get to myself, yes. No one's ready to partake in that yet.
Popeyes now has boneless wings, a continuation to their bone-in wings platform, which will allow customers the choice between the ghost pepper bone-in wings or the all-white eat boneless wings with a milder flavor. With the success of the current wing program, they are continuing to lean on their existing sauce offerings, including signature hot, honey garlic, honey barbecue, and Gager's back favorite, garlic parmesan, as well as classic. YTT, you know what time it is. Let's hit that sports update. Then Justin Dunk from the host of 3 Down Nation will be joining us shortly after that.
Trey Ford gets his first start of the season, and to no surprise, the Elks get their first win of the season. The Elks defeated the 5-3 Saskatchewan Roughriders by the score of 42-31. Trey Ford threw 18 of 22 passes, good enough for 252 yards. The Elks don't play again till Sunday, August 11th, where they'll be taking on the 5-3 BC Lions right here in Edmonton. Elsewhere in Edmonton, the Stingers finished off their season with a 78-69 loss on Sunday, coming from the nemesis, Calgary. This is the second year in a row that the Calgary Surge have ended the Stingers season. The Riverhawks swept the Port Angeles Lefties over the weekend and look to continue that in their next series against the Nanaimo Night Owls. The Riverhawks won Game 1 of this series on the road with a score of 15-4. This win clinched their spot in the 2024 West Coast League playoffs for the first time in the franchise's history. If you want to cheer them on, they play again tonight, which of course you can listen to at edmontonsportstalk.com. In the Olympics, Andre DeGrasse didn't qualify for the men's 100-meter, but he did qualify for the 200-meter semis, in which he won that event in the last Summer Olympics. This event will take place tomorrow. And lastly, the Canada men's basketball squad is set to play France this morning at 10 a.m., and the winner of that one will go on to play either Germany or Greece. The Sports Update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting services, whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential. Plan it right with Green Plan. Visit greenplan.com or give them a call at 780-455-4292.
I got a big shot off this stick of mine. I keep those lanes wide open all the time. Drysidle setting up shop, McDavid's flying. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line. As sure as new G is slick and Kane is tough. We're going all the way this year, enough is enough. And we can play 'em straight or we can play 'em rough. I'm feeling fine when I walk the line. You know I shoot that puck so very, very hard. The name on the back of my jersey says Bouchard. And we're gunning for first place, not a wild card. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line. Well, we're counting on our skill and not on luck. And it's gonna get real when they drop that puck. And we won't be done until we hoist the cup. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line. I got a big shot off this stick of mine. I keep those lanes wide open all the time. Drysidle setting up shop, McDavid's flying. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line.
$7:04. I'm Joaquin Gage on the Nielson Show with Jay Milne. I've always wanted to say that.
Yes!
Welcome back to the big program. I'm looking forward to this next guest, buddy, Justin Dunk, and get into some Elks stuff. See if they can turn this season around. It's amazing that they can actually make the playoffs still, but
they still control their own destiny.
Yeah.
And let's bring on Justin Dunk from 3 Down Nation. If you are a CFL fan, as many of us are, and you do not subscribe to 3 Down Nation, I'm just going to say it. You're an idiot.
big mistake.
Huge mistake. I'm just going to throw that out there because the knowledge and the in-depth analyzing that they do, the three of them there, it's phenomenal. I love it. I love listening to your picks. Although, Justin, you're usually not on the episode that where they do the picks. Why is that? Are you a mush, or how can you explain this?
No, that's just new this year because I started hosting the pre-halftime and post-game shows for 620 CKR with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So I don't want to be making any picks anymore. There's some people that do want that, but that's the reason for it.
No, and that's totally understandable. Justin, let's get right into it. I mean, in Edmonton, we have something that we haven't seen happen all year. We haven't seen happen in the first 7 games. They got a victory. They got a W, and that's worth celebrating here. Small victories, I might say. I want to get your thoughts on Trey Ford. I mean, we talked about it earlier on the show that one of the knocks or one of the concerns with Trey Ford was his pocket presence, his awareness, and his ability to stand in there and deliver the ball. Everybody knows how athletic he is, but what did you think of Trey Ford in the pocket and how that all went for the Elks on Saturday?
Trey Ford looked very comfortable in the pocket, and if you couldn't tell it, you just need to look at that 93-yard touchdown pass to Tevin Jones that he laid in there perfectly. Had to move around a little bit in the pocket, not from a scrambling standpoint, but some of those subtle movements that we see from the pocket passers a la like a Tom Brady. I'm not saying he's that caliber yet, but he moved around comfortably. He was 18 to 22. That's over 80% completion percentage. And the majority of those completions, fellas, came from the pocket. It wasn't like he was running around sideline to sideline like we see from time to time with him. He did make some defenders look stupid, namely Malik Scoop Carney early in the game, took a silly inside path to him, and Ford went out the gate for an easy first down. But from the pocket, to your question, he looked very comfortable against a defense that was arguably, if not among the best in the league, the best in the league, at least going into that game, led by Corey Mace, the defensive guru.
Well, and speaking of that defense, that was the league's best rushing defense that the Elks faced off against. And by the way, the Elks had the league's worst rushing offense. Yet, I mean, you have Javon Leake come out with monstrous 3 touchdowns, 160 yards in the game. Can you say, does this have to do with the Trey Ford effect as well, with getting that defense off balance, out of chemistry, to where a guy like Javon Leake can come in and replace. Keep in mind, Kevin Brown was the number one running back. Javon Leake was the backup and came in and torched that defense. Do you think that has to do with Trey Ford being at the helm?
Definitely. When you guys are talking about the zone read concept, and I don't want to get too much into football terms here, but it's this simple play that we've seen so much around pro football now, and especially in the NCAA, but it's in the NFL and the CFL so much, where the quarterback has the football in the belly of the running back, and he's reading either a defensive lineman or a linebacker. And what you saw in that game against Saskatchewan was the Riders overplaying Trey Ford to not let him get to the outside, because we know his kind of 4.4, 4.3 type of speed, it can really hurt you. That opens up the seam or the hole even more for a Javon Leake or whoever is going to be there at running back for the Elks. So I definitely think the Trey Ford effect was fully felt in the run game as well. Guys, think about this. The Riders were giving up an average of 3.6 yards per carry going into that game. The Elks averaged 9.9 yards per carry. And you don't need to look much farther than the game last year at Mosaic Stadium in September, which, oh, by the way, was the Elks' last win, where Trey Ford had a similar effect. And Kevin Brown rushed for, I believe it was in the 170-yard range in that football game for similar reasons. Different defense. Corey Mace wasn't there. It was Jason Shivers, ironically, at the time. But still, that effect on a defense is very real. We saw it play out against the Riders.
Justin Dunk with us, 3 Down Nation. Justin, I wanted to ask a question, and we were talking about it earlier on the show, that as a team gets to the record that the Elks got to, with the 0-7, as going up against the worst team in the league and having the success that the Riders have had up to this point, how much of this do you think was the Riders going up against, not trying to lose, or was this, in your eyes, did the Elks essentially, did they play as good as they looked on Saturday night?
I think they did, and I don't think the Riders overlooked Edmonton at all, at least just based on Corey Mace's comments. He didn't care about the record. He knew that earlier in the season, that week 1 game in Edmonton was a close one that I believe Edmonton was leading 21-8 at one point. The Riders came back and won in the fourth quarter. So he knew that football team was better than their record. You guys know this well, considering the 3 straight games they lost on walk-off field goals. Like, team easily could have had a couple wins, if not more, if they would have started Trey Ford earlier. But I would say the Elks were full value for the victory.
And, leading into this week here, Justin, the Elks face off against, they bring in the visiting BC Lions, who they've come off a little bit of an interesting twist in their season as well, losing 25-0 to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But not only that, and more importantly, losing Vernon Adams late in that game with what appears to be a knee injury. Now, he's listed as week to week. And I don't really know how that's going to play out. I do know that Jake Dolagala is listed as the backup for the BC Lions. Should the Elks face off against Jake Dolagala, give the fans of Edmonton a little taste of what to expect from Jake Dolagala coming in. And I mean, he's no Vernon Adams, but is this a game that, because they have someone like that coming in, is he inexperienced enough to give Edmonton fans the belief that maybe they can snap off 2 in a row here?
I think Edmonton looks for real. They have this renewed energy, especially with Trey Ford at quarterback. And Jake Dolagala is a pocket passer. He's not going to move around like Vernon Adams Jr. Big, tall drink of water, if you will, that's going to stand there and let the football go. And he did have some starts last year with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, actually beat the BC Lions at home at Mosaic Stadium, which was a game that everybody thought the Lions were going to come in and win. He got it done. So he does have weapons around him, but I think Vernon Adams Jr. and his mobility hide some of the issues with this offensive line. I don't know if they're as good as you might think they would be when Vernon Adams Jr. is at quarterback, because he uses his mobility to kind of mask that. So this will be a real test up front for the BC Lions. And if you're Edmonton coming into this game, you got to have all kinds of confidence. Your offense just dropped 40+. Your defense, by and large part, was able to hold the Riders' offense down. I know there's some garbage time points, and Joe had that weird play at the end of the game that he recovered a fumble for a touchdown. But I think there's got to be a lot of confidence going around that Edmonton team and saying, we don't even care if Vernon Adams Jr. was at quarterback. We just beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who everybody thought was a great team and was at the top of the West Division. We can beat anybody.
Justin, also, I just wanted to take a quick trip down south with Nathan Rourke. Just getting, seems like to the back of the bus again in a log jam of quarterbacks. How do you see his future? Do you see him coming back to the CFL at any time soon, as probably a lot of BC fans would love to have right now?
Definitely. The timing would be ideal if you're a BC Lions fan, but I don't see that happening in the foreseeable future. I really get the sense from Nathan Rourke and his camp that they're going to see out the 2024 NFL season, and it makes a lot of sense for multiple reasons. But I actually think that the Atlanta Falcons really like Rourke and that he has a legitimate chance here to be the number 3 with Atlanta. And it could be an ideal situation for him to develop, for him to get on the field quickly. No, but you also don't want to be thrown out there quickly, look terrible, and then end up back in the CFL in 2025. I think he can win that number 3 spot. He's competing with Taylor Heineke, who's up there in age, has a lot of NFL starts, but reworked his contract, and the Falcons can actually save over $1 million if they release him prior to the start of the regular season. So if Rourke performs well, I could see a scenario where he's on the Atlanta Falcons, either practice roster or the 53-man active roster going into the season, and actually in a pretty decent spot because they really like him. Raheem Morris, the head coach, came out and said he was high on our list. He's a guy that we've liked for a while. They tried to claim him back in May when the New York Giants claimed him and then wasted his time in New York. They never should have claimed him. They should have just let him go to Atlanta because he would have been further ahead in the playbook right now. But I think he's actually in a decent spot.
Justin, one last question for you here. The Alouettes seem to be running away with the Eastern Conference. Obviously, with that Elks win, the Lions lost, the Rough Riders lost. Things seem to be tightening up a bit in the West. Do you see a situation where, let's talk about our hapless Elks here. Is there a situation where you could see them getting a crossover? Because in my opinion, I don't know that the Argonauts are for real. I think that is something that they could attain. But, given the Alouettes are moving away, moving the other direction, they're clearly running away with it. Is there a chance of a crossover this year?
There's a possibility of that, but, I think that Montreal looks really good. The Ottawa Red Blacks look like they're pretty good. They're 5-2. Let's not forget about them. And the Toronto Argonauts, I think your point is valid. Without Chad Kelly at quarterback, and there's still a lot of questions there about what might happen with him. He still needs to be reinstated to have any talk about him potentially coming back. If the Argos have been up and down, their record would show it. But Ryan Dinwiddie has shown in his time in Toronto that team's going to be competitive. So I think they'll be in the mix. That would be a long road for the Elks to climb to get to that crossover. But guys, I'll say this. With Trey Ford as your starting quarterback, let's channel Kevin Garnett. Anything is possible.
Well, Justin, thank you very much for your time. Where can people find 3 Down Nation? Where can people hear you? By all accounts, Dustin has mentioned what a fabulous job you're doing on the pre, and I like the halftime side of this, the pre, half, and post game over on that is 620 CKRM in Saskatchewan. Right. So where can people find you on 3 Down Nation?
Yeah, so you can go to 3downnation.com, hit up 3 Down Nation on our YouTube channel. You can find me on Twitter at JDunk12, and then on Twitter as well at 3 Down Nation. And yeah, for the 620 CKRM pre and post game show, I leave out halftime because halftime's really only a couple minutes with all the bills that we pay at halftime. You can find us on 620 CKRM for the away games audio only, but for the home games 3 hours before, live in color on our video stream. We had G. Roy Simon live before kickoff, fellas, like less than 2 hours before kickoff. Maybe he should be doing that every game with you guys at home. And when he comes
with you, every game with you, even when he's playing around the league, we're going to get him on with you 2 hours before.
Hey, I'm happy to help. As long as Trey Ford is starting, I'll do whatever I can to help. All right, fellas?
Thanks, Justin. We appreciate your time.
Here, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right. That was Justin Dunk, host of 3 Down Nation. And astute football mind. And you Riders fans out there in Saskatchewan, from what I understand, you're spoiled with riches of having somebody. Can you imagine doing a 3-hour pregame show?
Not for something
football?
Yeah, that's
For CFL football?
You probably could. I guess it would have to do a lot of Marvel and some other stuff in there. Maybe some. I'd probably have a tour of the tailgating. There'd be a cooking segment on there for sure.
You know, it just makes you realize how big football is.
Yeah.
Rider football is in Saskatchewan when you're able to pull off a 3-hour pregame show. I mean, the big dogs around here for the big show in town, which are the Oilers, is a 2-hour show. So that says a lot.
It's big, man. I'm no stranger to football in Regina too. I went to Notre Dame, so I've scored a few touchdowns in Taylor Field. It was in Taylor Field.
Yes.
I think I had 4 touchdowns in one game. I did the Al Bundy for one time and provincial champs one year.
High.
Poke high. Yeah. So
Gager, you know, we talked about it earlier. I want you to lay it out for everybody. Your Coolbet line of the day, which is presented by Coolbet.com. Major, awesome, wicked, the best partners of Edmonton Sports Talk. Oftentimes you'll find many of our exclusives on their homepage. I'm just looking now. There's nothing up now, but usually Maddie gets in for the Elks games. He gets a nice exclusive up on Coolbet. What do we got today, Gator?
Well, we've got the boring match guarantee today, the game of the day. Brazil, United States. United States at minus 25,000. So maybe a little sprinkle on Brazil.
I'm going to put $10 on that and see what it would return.
And
it would return 4 cents.
Yeah. And then there's a great parlay, the Make It Rain, France versus Canada today, later on in basketball with Brazil and the United States. Those boring matches, I know they're boring, but if you sprinkle a little bit, it kind of draws the attention of your eyes. And Coolbet has been great. I mean, this was I think this was the first real big sponsor that when Dusty years before COVID asked me, "Hey, Joaquin, do you want to do a podcast?" And I go, "What's a podcast?" And we started Two Guys and a Goalie way back in the day, and it was one of the first programs that happened here at Edmonton Sports Talk. So
God bless you.
Yeah,
God bless you, Coolbet. Now let's look at this Make It Rain here. I mean, France, Canada. You've got Wemby total 3-point shots made over 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay. SGA total 3-point shots made over 1.5. Okay, it doesn't seem unattainable. Now they go to the Brazil-U.S. match. Steph Curry, total 3 points made over 2.5. Devin Booker, total 3 points made over 1.5. I'm going to book that. That's plus 1,030.
Yeah, that's...
$5 bet turns to $56.49. I mean, even Matawana can get behind that. Mr. Lean himself. Wow. Okay. Well, we're loving that.
Yeah.
Jeez. Hey,
Also, go to there's the Olympics, obviously, 2024. Just hit that up. We've got the 100-meter hurdles, 110 for men and women. You want that horse racing vibe.
Yeah.
You sprinkle a little money on a track event.
Bet on humans.
And at 1,500 meters, you're slapping. I don't know if you've ever seen that one Seinfeld episode with Kramer. Kind of, he's whipping the horse at the end. That's what you'd be doing. And then, of course, the men's 200 meters.
I'm just looking at that right now. Noah Lyles is minus 714. The next in line is Kenneth Bednarik from USA is plus 600. I mean, they're looking. Noah Lyles
and Andre DeGrasse.
Andre DeGrasse is in there. He's plus 4,000.
4,000. So who knows? That's
contentious. I didn't know you could bet
$5.
This is dangerous, right? Gager. You shouldn't have done this.
I know, it's terrible. I love just to go in here and make the combos and the parlays.
Well, it's quite easy here.
I feel like I'm going to be able to retire after I've got a 15-person parlay.
Yeah, well, you could if you hit the right one.
I could,
you start stacking those up, it can add up real quick. Gager, what's been your favorite? Let's say your favorite off sporting event at the Olympics. Not one of the majors, not the internet, like the swimming medleys or the stuff that everybody sees. But what's been your most exciting random
it's the surfing.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
by far it's the surfing. They did a great job, and if you go on that CBC app, the Gem app, and you can go
Yes.
back and watch some of the stuff, and they did a really in-depth of the whole break of where that is in Tahiti. Like it's like 6,000 kilometers from Paris or whatever, right? In the French Polynesians. But the I guess because obviously when a wave breaks, it goes from a deep to shallow, right? So, but it is so drastic at that point. Like it's like 150 feet deep, then goes to like 2 feet.
Ugh.
And if you're watching and you're wondering about what all these jet skis and things, it's because the coral reef is right there, and they'll get crushed. So a lot of times they have to lay like flat out starfish on their back, and they come get rescued, and then they have to be taken all the way around the track and then dropped off where they originally came. So there's not an unfair advantage, right? But yeah, it's one of the most dangerous breaks in the world, I guess. But it creates those perfect waves, and I mean, how can you not? That one, the Brazilian surfer, after that perfect, I think it was like a 9.8. ride or whatever it was, like he was completely in the barrel, couldn't see him at all, and he comes out and he gives it the 10 and goes up, and there's that picture of him just standing, like looking like he's walking on air with his surfboard straight up. It's just, that's the photo of the Olympics for me. That's so cool. I'm no stranger to surfing myself over in Tofino with 2-foot waves on a 9-foot board. You know, I'm ripping it up.
Just breaking hearts out there,
Yeah.
eh?
Well, there's a 8mm wetsuit head to toe on there. It's a little chilly.
Right.
So
Did you run into Trudeau out there on the beaches of Tofino?
not back then.
No.
Not back then. It wasn't as popular back then. Now it's
Tofino?
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been?
I won't commit to driving that far.
Oh, it's the best drive.
I've been to Victoria. We've done it several times. We've gotten as far as Jordan River, which is kind of up the way towards Tofino. But I've heard that the drive is, a little bit
you go through
weebly
woods.
wobbly, boobly boobly.
It's great
Yeah.
though. It's fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just have to commit to
You
it.
have to
then.
go.
Yeah.
And when I grew up in Vancouver, but it's kind of like a little bay, right? I mean, it's the ocean, but it's different. When you get out to the west, like the west coast, and see the magnitude of the Pacific, it's
Right.
crazy, man.
I hate the ocean too. I'm not an ocean guy. Yeah, stay away.
Okay.
Water, unless it's contained in a river, in a pool. That's about the
Or
extent
frozen
of where
water.
I go.
Frozen water.
Frozen water's okay too.
Yeah.
I had a very, very traumatic incident on a boys' trip where we lost our canoes, flipped